Hi everyone, Max and the Millions, chapter 23. Whoa, Excelsior! Miss Binkles. Whoa, Miss Binkles! Miss Binkles came to a gentle stop on the top of the dune. Luke shielded his eyes and gazed up at the sky compass. They had been following it for 20 long minutes now, and it didn't seem to be getting any closer. Why are we stopping? Asked Ivy. Said Luke. I thought I heard something behind us. Guess it must have been. Ivy tackled him to the ground just as a warfly buzzed overhead. The two of them rolled into balls and hid beneath Miss Binkles, their hearts pounding, barely daring to breathe. The warfly hovered above them. Luke could see the fly rider on its back, gazing down, wondering whether it was worth getting a closer look at the flea below. Act natural, Miss Binkles, Luke whispered. Miss Binkles did her best. The fly rider paused, then turned the warfly round and buzzed away. Luke picked himself up. Phew, that was the closest one yet. Feels like we're seeing more and more of them now. Ivy didn't answer. She was watching the warfly disappear across the desert with a faint smile. Amazing, aren't they? You could go anywhere on one of those. Right up to the ceiling even. Can you imagine what the floor looks like from up there? She looked at the ceiling longingly. What is it with you and flying? Said Luke. You had all those drawings in your hut. Flies, gnats, that one of you on a moth? Ivy looked shocked for a moment, but quickly regained her composure. She brushed the sand off herself. You wouldn't understand. I've been stuck under the bed my whole life. We're not all kings, you know. We don't get whatever we want with a click of our fingers. Luke scowled. I'm not a king, and I never asked to be one, you know. Ivy laughed. Don't be so oblivious. You've been given more choices than most people have in a lifetime. Luke stopped, partly because he didn't know what oblivious meant, but also because there was a spear jamming in his throat. Don't move, said a voice. The spear was pointing straight out of the sand in front of him, but Luke couldn't see anyone holding it. He glanced at Ivy. Sure enough, another spear was sticking out of the stand behind her and jamming into her back. Put down the club, said the voice, and the sword. Luke and Ivy dropped their weapons. There was a pause, then the dunes in front of them warped and shifted. They were suddenly surrounded by dozens of people in desert camouflage, their face covered by hoods. The person in front of Luke held the spear steadily at his jugular. State your purpose. Why are you here? Luke gulped. We're searching for the wise man. What is the magic word? Luke thought about it. Please? There was a pause. The sand person lowered the spear and removed the hood. Wow, right first time, she said. The woman standing in front of Luke had a shaved head with fine blue across her scalp. The other sand people also removed their hoods. They all had shaved heads, some with red stubble, some with green, and some blue. Congratulations, said the woman, handing Luke his sword. You passed the test. Now we can show you the way to Holy Mountain. Ivy was appalled. That was a test. The woman nodded. All those who wished to join the wise man must pass the test. Has anyone ever failed? The woman thought about it. No. Shall we? She hopped onto Miss Binkles and pulled Luke up beside her. A man with a shaved head appeared on a fleet and grabbed Ivy, and they bounded across the desert side by side. You are closer to the Holy Mountain than you realise, the woman explained. Most do not get so far. The wise man will be very impressed when he finds out. Prince Luke. Luke was surprised. You know who I am? The woman smiled. I was a blue once, and I left King Adam to follow a more important path. My name is Follower 43. She pointed to the man riding with Ivy. That is Follower 18. He was once a powerful green, but he too joined the wise man to find the answer to life's bigger questions. Why are we here? What is our purpose? And what did the wise man say? Said Ivy. Follower 18 turned around, tears in his eyes. Stop asking me questions and leave me alone, he said reverently. Luke and Ivy shared a glance. We're here, said Follower 43, the Holy Mountain. They were directly beneath the sky compass. The dunes rose slightly and then dipped into a deep valley, one so deep that the mountain inside was hidden from view. The mountain was made of rippling black folds piled on top of each other. People say that the Holy Mountain was once the clothing of the Great One himself, follower 43 explained. The wise man settled here after the tribes refused to reunite and focused on trying to bring back the Great One. Miss Binkles came to a stop before a deep cave in the mountainside. "Behold," said follower 43, "the pocket, the sanctuary of the wise man." She led them inside. Luke was amazed. It was like a vast cathedral of black cloth, with walls stretching so high you couldn't see where they ended. Ahead of them stood an enormous structure, glimmering in the half-light. Luke had never seen anything like it. It towered above them and was made entirely of glass. "What is that?" Follower 43 bowed her head. "That is the bottle which once held the serum, the source of all life on the floor. The wise man found it in the desert, and his followers dragged it here for him to study. He spent many weeks inside that bottle, gathering artifacts from all over the desert and working on them tirelessly. No one knows what he was building. He took everything with him when he left." Luke strode towards the bottle. "We need to speak to him right away. If we don't get back to the Red Kingdom before the Bin King attacks, then—" He trailed off as follower 43's words sank in. Did you say he left?" Follower 43 nodded. "About, I don't know, an hour ago maybe." Luke and Ivy stared at her in dismay. Follower 43 didn't seem to notice. "Right after Demon first appeared through the bedroom door," she explained, "the wise man ran outside and looked at him and went into a trance. He often goes into trances, but this one was different. Nothing could wake him from it. But once Demon and his accomplice left, he came out of it again. He gazed at each of his beloved followers in turn, took a deep breath and said, 'We're stuffed.' It was so moving," said follower 18, wiping away another tear. "Then he took his things and ran into the desert," said follower 43. "We tried to follow him, but he told us to get lost. We have spent the last 60 minutes in deep discussion of his words. Get lost where? Get lost how? Is it possible to become lost by choice, or must one already be in a state of lostness?" Luke didn't waste any time. He grabbed Ivy and started dragging her outside. "We have to go right now. If we don't find the wise man soon, then—" Bam! A huge boulder flew through the entrance to the pocket and slammed into the wall beside them, missing them by fractions of a millimetre before rolling to a stop on the sand. Luke's eyes goggled. Written on the side of the boulder in bright green paint were the words, "We're outside." "Oh, crud," he whispered. He stepped out of the pocket and his stomach dropped. The entire green army surrounded the holy mountain. The sky was thick with warflies, all of their catapults aimed directly at Luke and Ivy. And striding across the sand towards them was the Bin King. That's the end.